Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Jaime, giving you exclusive events on headlines that you didn't even know you needed. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe with notifications. And with that said, humans, let's get on with some vents. I really enjoy a good conspiracy when you get one, I ended the year with some of the best conspiracies of 2022 that I feel like are gaining momentum. And I want to stick with some of these because, man, there's some that I said with our technology growing and a rapid pace and some things like this. Like I feel like the reach of some of these so-called conspiracies or supposed rumors or fake stories or whatever they are, could be gaining some more momentum. Like I said, like our stuff is developing very fast. So, like I said, there's been rumors about like secret aircraft. People see like sightings of like UFOs, or now they call them UAPs and stuff like that, right? Stealth technology, you see things like that. Or like when people are saying like they see airplanes, there's videos of the airplanes just like hovering in the sky and they're driving around like, man, what is this, a glitch in the Matrix? What's going on here? So there's all these weird things happening. And like, but today there's this one that's been catching, I've been reading around some articles about some conspiracies and having fun with them, going down those rabbit holes. And this one just seemed to really catch my attention. Being that I used to live by an airport, so I used to see some similar things to these stories here. So, what I want to bring about today is one of the stories I would like to talk about. They're called black helicopters. That's right, humans. The black helicopters. And I know what you're thinking. Like, you see them all the time, right? Like, and then you see other people like, oh, we're about to go to war because you see military aircraft, right? Well, a lot of people have been, seeing some of these things and like through some, like a few years back, maybe a decade or so, around a decade or so, there was some reports going around, like a lot of reports going around of these black helicopters. And in their early stories, they were like attributed to like the Area 51 sightings back like around that time. They were saying that they were seeing these helicopters around cattle mutilations and stuff like that. So they were like already tied to like secret government projects, like already. Okay. So I guess like I said, our government would use these supposedly our government would use this secret military aircraft to surveil certain humans of like high level power and things like that, like politicians. Let's just say like people that run states and shit, and countries. And one of the stories I'll share with you, a couple stories here that I found, and these are supposedly legit stories. There's newspaper articles with them. I mean, I went in depth. This wasn't like internet shit. This was like library shit, like library type shit. But there was a militia in Montana who tried to apparently shoot one of these black helicopters down when, and I guess they described the model and everything. They said it was an AH-G4 Apache. And it flew over one of their militia members' ranches. And they wasn't having it. So apparently this militia had some kind of anti-aircraft weaponry, and they went over there to like send them a message. Like, come on, man, pow, like, get out of here. So that was one of the stories they shared when they witnessed one of these black helicopters. And a lot of people say when they see these helicopters, there's no sound. Like when the time you notice them, it's already too late. It was probably watching you already for, minutes and things like that. There was a congresswoman from Idaho, and she publicly stated, I guess, even went to court over things. I think it was like federal court things and like that. There was some court papers and things all in these documents. And she said that these federal agent black helicopters were harassing some of their residents and stuff like that out there in their ranchers of Idaho. And so this politician was going out publicly speaking out and, catching a lot of flack and things like that for trying to, defend her citizens of her town and things like that because felt like their privacy was being invaded. Possibly the safety was being invaded from these, stealthy helicopters and whatnot. But like I said, people used to time to Area 51 back in the early like 70s and 60s. They were all like, oh man, this is some, crazy, UFO type shit and cattle's dying. you know. But there's another crazy story that ties these helicopters to something that kind of creeps me out, because they say a lot of people, when you see these documents, a lot of like our government are like, no, these ones ain't ours. These are the ones we use. And they're like, this is the ones that we use. This isn't our helicopters. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, so you read on. And then you get into like where it ties into like the weird, this is where it gets all weird. And you're like, oh man, this is some bullshit. Because then they start saying like the New World Order and the UN, or some say in this article, like they're the same thing trying to create the New World Order, you know, starting here, that they established over 20,000 troops that are on our country spread around all around the U.S. There's over 20,000 of these secret UN troops or New World Order troops. And this is only supposedly, allegedly, like I said, this is where the conspiracy, you know, is it true or not? I don't know. But apparently there's over 20,000 troops on our American soil for this New World Order people. And they're the ones who, like, some of them are the pilots of these, you know, stealth black helicopters and stuff like that. And they're ready to, I guess, take over take a strike, and they're going to strike and take over the United States. You know, there was an old story where they said some international bank, you know, which I'm going to get into some of this next story about these crazy, shady banks, okay? They supposedly were encouraging certain people to do things during like wars and things like that. And you don't know if that's true or not, but there's a lot of these stories that implicate a lot of these shady banks, you know. It's pretty wild. Like I said. But with these troops, if it was true, like if this is true and they had all these troops spread around all our country, right? And I don't know if it's like just like I guess like just North America. They're not. I don't know if like Alaska's safe. You know, I don't know what's over there, or Hawaii. But there's just it just says like around the U.S. All right. And let's say this is true. Like all these people, you know, like I said, the banks tried to bribe. This is a story supposed. Like I said, they tried to bribe Hitler to come over here and do some things, but he was afraid because of how many citizens are armed over here. So he was like, nah. You got to try something else. You know what I'm saying? If that story was true, they would say. But I'll get back to that in a minute. So these troops are here, and there's some weird law. I got to look it back up. I'll look it back up another time. But there's some law. I forget how it goes, but something about where we can't deploy our troops on our soil until something passes or somebody votes on something. So if these people like did come out here and attack us, right? Like, we'd be screwed for a little bit. I mean, not really. I mean, a lot of armed citizens and people like that would protect us and things like that. But until the troops came, it'd probably be like us against, all for ourselves right now. It'd be like everybody got to help ourselves out. At least according, if that was really true. And if it was really true, it'd be kind of scary because that 20,000 would be a small number. But it's probably huger now because these borders are so wide open and these guys are probably recruiting them everywhere. If the story was true, they're getting all these nighttime flights and shipping all these people here and there. It could be loading them up on these people's teams. If that shit was true. But what I'm going to talk about today is pretty damn true. Okay, this one was a conspiracy for a while. Well, I mean, the people that are involved in this next topic are why they're saying this is a conspiracy now. So this, like I said, these shady banks have been doing crazy things, and you don't know if it's true or not. You don't know what's going on, but you don't want to believe that it's true, right? But if it is true, and you go out here and you got some facts or you got some documentation, people are going to say you crazy, and you're going to be crazy Kanye and crazy everybody else, right? You're Alex Jones if you come out here with some crazy facts. But back to one of these shady banks that doesn't exist anymore, but it was kind of like I want to bring it up because it has that FTX feel. It's got this Bankman-Fried, like, I lost your money, deal with it type of feel. All right? People got caught, money was gone, and shit's done, right? So this Bank of Commerce and Credit International, they called it the BCCI. It got founded, like, in the 70s by some Pakistani banker. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but his last name, I believe, his middle and last name is Hassan Abedi. And he proclaimed this bank, they proclaimed themselves the Third World Bank. They gave themselves like self-proclaimed, right? Like this is what we call it. They were the badass. Like they gave themselves a nickname right off the bat when they started. But this guy started it himself, all right? And this bank grew crazy fast. They had like over 1 million depositors, like crazy. This bank just like started blowing up. and their goal was to get into North America, which they did. They ended up opening like 4 banks here in America. This BCCI or BCCI bank, right? And these guys were buying like crazy. I guess they were like asset buying, and they were using this asset buying like as a front, so you really couldn't see like the real money that they was making like behind like where Uncle Sam couldn't get in, like the IRS, basically Uncle's, aka Uncle Sam. So like while they were making all this money, like it got the attention, they got the buzz, like it's like, oh, something's going on here, right? So they got all the attention of the IRS, DEA, and the CIA, and more forms of our government started sniffing around these dudes because they was making like real dough. And then they started coming around here, and when they got the government's attention, these guys started seeing that these guys were straight up money launderers. Yes, humans, this bank was just a straight up money washing machine. And then you see all these banks pop up. You're like, but this bank was like a crazy money washing, but it was like this main income was like drug money laundering. So it sounds like that Ozark is shit, right? Like part 1. This was like the prequel to Ozarks and shit. So these guys were sitting here laundering money for drug dealers. And then like John Kerry got involved back in the day, and he decided to like run this investigation and ran this investigation, tried to get it into court. But oddly enough, his case investigation was blocked on purpose because it ended up dealing with some high-end individuals. Doesn't that sound familiar? The people that were some of this bank's clientele, were some high-end individuals and still are today some big-wig names when you hear them today. And I'll drop one of them just right off the bat, George W. Bush. Bam. He was like on a chair. He was like on the board of some big-ass energy company. That was one of the clients of these people that like he was using them for loans and stuff like that. And other people were using this stuff, other big names. They even say like possibly Obama was tied to this company, was one of their clients. And these people like borrowed money all the time from this crazy shady bank. And everybody's like, oh man, you tripping. You're tripping. But I'm not tripping. Because like I said, it got the attention of our government. And our government was like, oh yeah, now you got to pay. Now you got to pay. So when it came time to pay, you think, oh, are they going to shut this? Like, are you going to shut this bank down? Like I said, no, they didn't shut it down. They were fucking helping them out because of the people that were involved. The Bushes were like, look, man, we can't go down with this shit. And the other people that was involved, like, no, we're not going down. So I think it was like around the 90s, they finally like John Kerry's paperwork kept, surfacing, and it just wouldn't die out. So they finally had to shut this bank down. They're like, look, man, this money front shit ain't working. We got to go start a new one. And so they finally shut the doors down. But when they shut the doors of this bank, there was $13 billion missing that nobody ever just knows where it's at. Doesn't that sound like that same Bankman-Fried money? Like, I don't know where your money is, but I'm going to find the guy who did it. I guess that's supposed to calm everybody nowadays. I'm going to do it. But yeah, 13 billion were missing when they just, shut it down. And they say like these banks are so shady. Like I said, I don't know if those stories are true about like that Hitler thing. Hitler was like, no, you better think of another plan. And I ain't going over there with all them people got guns. And imagine if they did something today. Like I said, if they had all these troops out here and then all of a sudden America comes out, like, you got to deal with us, boy. Like, we got to wait for the military, but I think we'll be okay for a little bit if it's only 20,000. Like, y'all can't even fit a football stadium. We got this. I'm just saying. But many countries, they believe, are in conflict and always ongoing conflicts from history to the future now. I mean, to now and into the future, they believe, is all from like international banking, funding and like persuasions and things like that. And I feel like, wow, that's pretty crazy when you don't really look at banks like that. When you start to read, like I said, there was so many big high-end, individuals involved. And like I said, they say they encourage and they also funded like other countries to like, I believe this is true. Okay. I believe this part could be true. I don't know if it's true, but I believe this one could be true. That they encourage like other countries, like foreign countries and foreign leaders to purchase big purchases of properties like all over the world, not just in their countries, all over the entire globe, so that the bank has more reach and they can control part of that stuff and eventually control it. Eventually they will control it. That's pretty scary when you think about it. Humans like, whoa, like they're just like controlling the monopoly game. Like I said before, like our government, is this, one form of the branch of the government is designed to designed the citizens as the monopoly board to keep us all separated. You know, keep us all red and green houses, right? And park places and whatnot. But then there's the bigwig one that's got to fucking keep all these people moving with the bank, with the money. Like, if you really want this money, then you're going to have to do this policy. Or if you really want this, you're going to have to do that. And that really frightens me, humans, because could this be true or could these stories not be true? And that's why I love conspiracies, because they're super entertaining. And then one day, if one of these end up being true, like, a lot of people will have, you know, a lot of this information will just be out, and then, you know, then you can use this stuff for reference. But otherwise, it could just be a bunch of big BS, like, you know, those blurry pictures of Bigfoot, or like what's going around right now. There's a giant on the mountain. Okay. Why is everybody sighting so damn blurry? All right, I'm just getting sick of this blurry shit. Like, if you've seen something, fucking see the shit. That's all I'm saying. Like, if it's that blurry, don't even say what it is. Like, I don't know what that is. It's just a blurry speck over there. It might have a leg. You know, like when you see a mirage and it's like, oh, there's water out there, and it ain't water. No, I know I appreciate all you guys taking them videos. I'm just saying we need some real videos. Like, every damn Bigfoot's just like, oh, you see through them leaves? That's a real fucking Bigfoot. But you see this bank shit right in front of you. You see the Hunter Biden laptop, like, right in front of you. But yet, you're looking at those, like, those are these blurry Bigfoot videos. Or those UFO videos, like, oh my God, I'm 12 feet from this UFO. I'm 6 feet away from this Bigfoot, you know? And here comes your camera, and then blurry. You know, I got the new Samsung Google that fixes photos, or Google Apple fucking droid. And the motherfucker fixes all the photos. And then you're fucking 3 feet away from this thing. I'm above it on the tree. I'm going to jump on his shoulders. And then you're like right in front of him. He's about to hit you, and you hit record, blurry. So that's why I think it's weird that they believe the Bigfoot blurry shit, but they won't believe like the laptop and all these crazy things like right in your face that we won't believe. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. If you did, I appreciate it if you would smash that subscription with notifications. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
Oh, yes,